the typical intermittent fasting routine is terrible for weight loss. Now, everything depends on your goals, of course, but if you are obese, if you have a lot of excess fat, you simply will never be able to lose fat with, typical mainstream intermittent fasting. You know why? Because you have so many hours to eat. Intermittent fasting, there are like 4 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours, 8 hours, all these, 16:8. There are way too many hours for you to eat. You can eat a lot of food in that amount. In 1 hour, I can eat a ton of food. So for fat loss, it is much better if you have a very tight eating window. You do OMAD and a very tight eating window for, when you refeed. But then for at least 48 hours or 72 hours, you water fast or you dry fast. And you can do some physical activity as well. I just don't recommend it depends on how obese you are. If you're very obese, I don't think it's very good for your knees, but you can still walk, of course. It's good to do some cardio. You just walk, go outside and just walk, So that, as long as you can stand on your 2 feet, you can at least walk, and then you fast as well. So for weight loss, the best thing is water fasting with, salt and potassium, of course. And you can combine some dry fasting as well if you want to, or a little bit longer with a water fast. So for example, you do 3 days water fasting and then you eat a little bit, but when you eat, you do OMAD. You have 1 hour and you eat a very small meal. And I would recommend, meats and organs if that is, but it doesn't matter much as long as it's not, a lot of food. It is perhaps like 500 grams of food. For pure weight loss, water fasting, dry fasting, fasting is the best because you're not eating anything. It's 0 calories. It's 0 calories. So the body has to take fat and water from, the fat on your body. The fat on your body is nutrition in case of emergency, in case there is no food. That is how nature works. Camels have fat on their back because, they throw it up basically and then they eat it, and this is nutrition in case of emergency, in case of food scarcity and water scarcity. So the same with our body. That is why humans are very resilient. We are very resilient. We are not fragile creatures, not even close. I was wrong about this. I used to think that we're very fragile, incredibly fragile, especially in our minds, but that is not the case. We are tough. We're tough creatures. We've survived mountains, ice cold weather, hot weather, everything, deserts. We've survived everything. So don't think that you can't survive fasting. Fasting is super easy. Fasting is super easy. Once you start, it is very easy. And if you're not fasting, I don't believe you're healthy. So every single person should do OMAD, at least OMAD. If you're lean, you should do OMAD. If you're very fat, if you're obese, you should start getting lean. That's your first goal. And then you build muscle more and more, muscles. But of course, you can also train while you're doing this. It will go even faster. But it depends on the person because it depends on how much fat you have on you. Some people can't, move properly. And especially, in the frame of calisthenics. I'm always thinking of calisthenics, People have troubles with that, if you're too fat. Of course, you can try push-ups, and I believe it's better actually because you won't injure yourself as much. And you just do whatever you can, Or you just walk, at the very least walk. Walking, that is basic. But everything I do is basic. You don't have to complicate anything. You don't have to complicate anything. You just, later on, you just eat fruits and meats, and that's it. If you're obese and you don't have time during the weekdays to fast, then utilize your weekends for fasting. That is the best way there. And you do this until you've reached, you can see your abs. You can, perhaps you have some loose skin as well, but then you dry fast. I'm always dry fasting. When you dry fast, you should be able to feel soft. So the whole day for 22 hours or 23 hours, I dry fast, and then in the evening I eat my meal, my OMAD meal, all right? 1 meal per day, 1 meal a day. That is what you're doing, all right? The sun is showing itself. All right, so if you're fat, the best routines are water fasting with, of course, salt and potassium for longer periods, not just 24 hours, you gotta go longer, 48 hours or 72 hours, 2 days or 3 days. Or if you can, you go longer, but if you can't, you go 3, and then, during your weekdays, you only do OMAD, only 1 hour, and you eat you don't even need an hour to eat 500 grams of meat. So you only do that during the weeks. You just eat a piece of meat, 2 or 3 fruits, and that's it. And you will need more water, because if you're only eating 2 3 fruits, you will have to hydrate yourself in a different way. I love hydrating myself through fruits. I eat a lot of apples, for example, and I get my hydration from apples. I don't feel thirsty. I'm dry fasted right now, and I never feel thirsty. It is very boring to drink water. Water is not joyous, it's not as joyous. Sometimes it is very joyous to drink water, but it's not even close to eating some fruits. And our ancestors would have eaten a lot of fruits when they, it's not like they saw a couple of fruits and they're like, yeah, that's, I'm intermittent fasting, I'm fasting today. No, they naturally fasted. Some weeks, some days, they wouldn't have food, so that's how they naturally fasted. But we have to simulate this, because we live in a society where, food is abundant. So that is why we simulate everything. Everything has to become a simulation, So after all, perhaps we have to become unified with the AI, perhaps. I'm joking, but we should never be reliant on anything else except our own bodies. You create yourself, you are yourself, you are the core, you are the most important thing in your life. So you have to become healthy. Health is should be your number one priority. I'm saying should because most people don't actually think this. Most people don't actually truly do this. Show me that your health, that you see your health as the most important thing in your life. Show me that. And you show me that, I can see it in your eyes, I can see it in your gestures, I can see it in your energy, your vibration, or your aura. You can call it whatever you want to, but I can see it on your vibe, so to speak. Back in the day they used to say vibe. So keep on focusing on yourself, keep on finding your diet. If you want to lose fat, you gotta keep fasting. Water fasting, dry fasting. And then OMAD. Water fasting, dry fasting, OMAD. That's it. That's all you have to do when you're very obese and you want to lose fat, and you walk, and you do some physical activity, of course. Minimum is walking outside. All right, get some fresh air. Look at the birds. Say hello to people. Pet the dog or something, or if they look dangerous, then of course you don't. All right, so if you have problems, you can contact me. My email is down below. You can message me on Facebook. You can ask me on YouTube in the comments down below about OMAD or, losing weight, whatever it is, performance or whatever it is, because it's health. It's all health. It's all about health. And you can check my Facebook account also, and you can add me there if you want to. I accept everything and everyone. And I'm using Facebook only to reach out to people. That's the only thing, That's the only thing. I don't use it for anything else. You won't see me post about, anything. Except I will only answer you in terms of health. That's the only thing. Mental health, physical health, they're the same. They're connected. So keep on working on yourself. Keep on focusing on yourself. And everything will be great. Everything will be fine eventually, as long as you're trying to focus from your core outwards, from your health, and then outwards. And I will see you tomorrow.